Jaya Kunda Vihari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari. You can sing also.
If I sing, I won't be able to play your mridanga. I'm not good.
Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajadaranjana Yashodanandana Brajadaranjana Yamunatira Varashali Yamunatira Varashali Yamunatira Varashali Yamunatira Varashali Radha Madhavu Jaya Kunda Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Vihari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Yashodanandana Radharanjana Yashodanandana Radharanjana Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Yes, come. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe Jaya
Jayo Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Radhe.
Jaya Radha Govinda Madhur Radha Govinda Madhur Shri Radhe Jaya
Jayo Radha Govinda Madhava, Radha Govinda Madhava Shri Radhe.
Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jayo Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Shishi Gauranitai,
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Madhav ki jai.
Jai,
Krishna Balaram ki jai.
Jai,
Gauranitai ki jai.
Jai,
Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai,
Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki jai.
Jai,
Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai,
Sadhu Satsanga ki jai.
Jai.
Gopramanande.
Haribol. Giri Govardhan.
Giri Govardhan ki.
Jai.
Yeah, today in France is Govardhan Puja.
Today,
And yes, for us it's today. And yourself?
we celebrated yesterday night.
Oh yeah,
Just
Yeah.
we are 9 hours apart. So it's, of course, yeah. Okay, so Swagatam, Suswagatam. Welcome to Shrimad Bhagavatam. Let's sing some prayers. We're going to sing one. We can sing one at a time, and like you said, it's more melodious. Okay, you start, Harinishta. You know that?
Sarva-
Yeah, go ahead.
But to let you know, the translation is quite different from yours.
Yeah, well, as long as the essence is preserved, it's, I don't think there's maybe a difference in the phrasing, but the essence
Yes,
remains the
yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sarva Shastrabde Piyasha, Sarva Vedeka Satpala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya, Sarva Lokaika Dritspada. O nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truth, you are the only giver of life to all the worlds.
Sarva Bhagavata Prana Shrimad Bhagavata Prabhu Kali Dvanto Ditaditya Shri Krishna Parivartita. O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master Shrimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun, risen in the darkness of Kali. You are the exact image of Shri Krishna.
Paramanand Pataya Prema Vakshaksharayate Savada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namostume. O Shrimad Bhagavatam. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss, for your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna.
Madhika Bandhu Matsangin, Madguru Manmahadana, Manishtayaka Madbhagya, Mad Ananda Namostute. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you.
Asadu sadutadain atinicho chatakara anamuncha kadachin mam prema premnarit kantayos pura. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love.
Hare Krishna. Swagatam. Swagatam. Hare Krishna. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjara Sharakaya Chakshurisham Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ikshitanya Manubhishtam Statitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Shvapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Samjivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shivadha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lita Shivishakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Kupesh Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Shabanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhasha Kripa Sindhudeva Cha Patitanam Pavanidhu Vaishnavidyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Do you have any recollections from 111, if any? Well, whatever struck you or something you want to share in particular, you know?
Well, I remember what you said about this, that Vyasadeva compiled it when he had attained his maturity, and you mentioned that new information that you got, that actually he had compiled it in a blueprint form before, and after having darshan with Narad Muni, he actually edited the
True.
He revised it, so that's why it said,
179, definitely. Thank you, Prabhu. Anything, Arinishta Devidasi, you want to share? Or any recollection that, that struck you, or something, some realization? It could be also not exactly according to the purport, something that you have realized, or it's good to share, we are churning the nectar, basically.
Yeah, for me, I'm still cherishing the moment, the word Swaraj, where Krishna, the verse explains how Krishna is fully independent, and he is the creator, he is the master of all creation, yet he's fully independent, but at the same time, he's completely dependent and surrendered to his devotee.
Yes, very true. Aham Bhakta Paradino, yes. Yasvantandra Dvija, 9463. Yeah, it's a good point. Krishna he's got one Shakti called Nirodha Bhanjiga Shakti. it means this Shakti can reconcile any contradictions. Nirodha Bhanjika Shakti. You find it in Dashamula of Bhakti Thakur. He explains that. Parasya Shakti Vivideva Shruyate is got so many Shaktis, but this one is called Nirodha Bhanjika Shakti. Any contradiction. We know Tadure, Tadvantike is very far, is very near, you know, like Shrestha Upanishad. He can grab your offering if it's loaded with love. At the same time, Angani, Yasi, Angani, Yasya, Sakalendri, Yavritimanti. No, sorry, not this one. It says, you know, I'm into everyone's heart. How does it go? Goloka Nivasati Akilatma Buddha. Is in Nivasati, dwells in Golok, but is also in everyone's heart. So, you know, it's very, very far, very near. Okay, so let's move into 112. So perhaps it's those verses are important, and we should ideally learn them by heart. I believe they must be in your list of shlokas to be learned.
Yes, they are.
So you want to try one after the other, or together? It's up to you. So now you want to perhaps to recite or
Dharma projito ketavatra paramo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivaram tapotrayan mulanam Shrimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Parerishvaraha Sajjoridya Varudhyate Trakribe Shushubishtakshanat.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Translation.
Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Puran propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart.
Yes. So remember we discussed last time about Mangala Charan, and what is the first component of Mangala Charan, remember? Vastu Nirdesh. Huh?
Oh yeah, the object.
This is the object. So it was very clear in 111. What is the object of this book? As described in 111. Satyam Param Dimahi, I would say, at the end of 111. Satyam Param Dimahi. Satyam Param basically means the Sarup Lakshan. Sarup Lakshan means the main characteristic of this book is Satyam Param. Krishna is Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam. That's the Vastu Nirdesh of this book. There's no question. So now in the 112, what is the Vastu Nirdesh we could say of 112 is Srimad Bhagavatam. We're going to discuss about the book who's going to convey the Satyam Param. So first of all, we are learning here that this is the highest, the greatest scriptures. Because why could we say that? We may say, well, it's very daring to advocate that. Why do we say? You may give a public class somewhere and you may say, well, my dear friend, my dear people, this book is the greatest scriptures. Immediately people may, not all, but someone may object. So why would you tell him? What would you tell him if in case he objects?
Well, I would say in regards to God, these books give the most detailed information.
Yes.
You got other books talking about God, but this one talks about everything about God.
Exactly.
That this phone number, and as Prabhupada said, address.
Dhamma projito ketavo. It rejects. Look at the Sanskrit. Projita means completely rejected. What is rejected? Anything ketava dharma. Anything which is ketava. Ketava means covered by something else. It's mishra, you know, there is some hidden agenda. And we know, please God, give us our daily bread. Please let me find a good wife. Let my daughter be properly married. This is slightly ketava. There is fruitive desires there. But Bhagavatam, Dharma Projito Ketavatra, everything is rejected except pure devotional service. That is why, my dear sir, we are saying this is the greatest scripture. And plus, number two, look at the Sanskrit, Nirmat Saranam Satam. It's very clear. That's the adhika for Bhagavatam, by the way. Nirmat Saranam Satam. If you are pure, or at least you intend to become pure, and Satam means sincere devotees, you know. If you have the attitude of a devotee, then you are fit to study. Basically, it means free from envy. Oftentimes, Prabhupada translates that. Free from envy. So definitely this verse acknowledges the supremacy of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, and on top of that, we discussed the other day, there is a Shirvad here. Not only one, but I can see one right here. Look, Tapatrayon Mulanam, right? It is superior scripture because by knowledge of pure devotional service, okay? And what is the result? You become free from all Tapatrayon Mulanam. It becomes uprooted. What are the three miseries we know? Huh? There are three. Do you remember Arinishta? The three miseries? You must be knowing that.
Adidevic,
yeah.
Adibhautik, and Adhyatmic.
Yeah.
Miseries given by the higher authorities like the demigods. Miseries given by the mind. And miseries given by other living entities.
Yeah, definitely. And remember, we discussed in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that what are the first two leaves of this Bhakti Lata?
Kleshagni Shubhada.
Yeah. And that's on the level of Sadhaka. Kleshagni, all the kleshas Agni destroyed, and Shubhada, Shub is very auspicious. Da, Yashuda, it gives Shub auspiciousness. So that's great. I mean, these are great preaching. I mean, no one can remain insensitive, how do you say, insensible to that preaching. I mean, my dear sir, you want to be free from miseries? Everyone can relate to that, you know. So, and on top of that, again, the same point as Sundar Prabhu is making, E179, in his maturity, it appears again here in 112. Vyasadeva in his maturity. It is not the Vyasadeva before when he compiled, all the Vedas, Upavedas, Vedangas, Upanishads, Ramayana, Puranas. No, it's after he had been taught by his guru. In his maturity, after. Mahamuni Kriteki. Mahamuni Krite means, Mahamuni means Vyasadeva, basically. He's the greatest Muni. And the message should be heard submissively as it is manifest by the Supreme Lord in the heart. And then another Ashirvad, by the way. In no time, it says in Sanskrit here, without delay, Takchanat. Shushubi, Kritibi means you have to be a little pious at least, you know. Even if you are impious, a person like Srila Prabhupada is so powerful. If you are lending a submissive ear, it's called rapt attention, even Prabhupada can rescue you. Right? There were cases of devotees before they joined, they were into heroin addicts, you know. And they join and gradually they redeem themselves to such an extent, you know. Now they are perhaps sannyasis or gurus even, you know. So can you imagine? Prabhupada has the power to reclaim you from the gutter of material existence. It's amazing. By the grace of Bhagavatam. That was his main concern. Remember, Prabhupada was day and night, throughout the night, translating, commenting. So Shru should be takshanat, without delay. Okay, so did you find the questions difficult, or I have to get your feedback because we just started a new cycle, so I don't know you exactly, I mean, where you stand. Sundar, I know, is Pandit, so I should have
Not so much. Not so much.
But I mean, it's good that I get your feedback because, we have to get to know each other, basically. You find them difficult, or just tell me.
No, for me, not at all.
Okay.
There was not too much research to do.
Not much what?
There wasn't any much work or research to do. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well,
Can you hear
basically,
me?
yes, I can hear you. I just scanned the purport and I just draw out. It's called in English, we say focus of learning. When you prepare your class, you have to identify what are the focuses of learning. Prabhupada is always stressing different things. So you try to grab them and expand on them. So they are quite simple in that verse, I would say. Beginning, I think the first question was extremely simple. What distinguishes from the basically animal life from human life? There's a verse actually, Itopadesh. I don't know if you know that verse. Because oftentimes people claim, we're very advanced by all means, but if there is one piece of the puzzle missing, what is it? That piece? Especially in France, it's a secular state. Oh, I believe in God. Do you practice? No. This is very French mentality.
Or more even French is I don't believe in God.
Yeah, true.
Even more French.
Yeah, true.
No God, no master.
Asuram Bhavamashvitaha, Asuram Bhavamashvitaha. They have all kinds. Narodama means even they have different types of values, social values, political, ecological. We want to save the whales. We want to save the planets. So many high, lofty concerns. But when it comes to God practice, it's not my cup of tea. So thank you so much. I have to go now. So basically, Prabhupada addresses right here in the beginning. Ahara Nidra. What is that verse, Sundar Prabhu? Ahara Nidra Bayan Netulimsha. This is Itopadesh. If we cannot live beyond those 4 pillars, eating, sleeping, mating, depending, we are just an polished animal. I say polished animal. Okay, so then it goes on. Basically, did you notice one thing? I want to find out some, I guess it's quite obvious, but did you notice that the Bhagavatam starts off from wherever the Gita left off? Did you notice? And I think it's quite apparent in this verse. What is the conclusion of the Gita in plain and simple words?
Sarva Dharman Parityajya.
Exactly. This is exactly what I was thinking of. And here, look at how it starts.
Dharma Prajito. Yeah.
See the connection, Arinishma? See,
Yes.
it is exactly like clicking, it's taking the Bhagavad Gita and moving on from the Bhagavad Gita. This is the natural evolution, the natural flow of the Gita. That is why Buddhism Prabhu used to tell us all these books, Bhakti Shastri, whatever you want to, these are paving the way towards Bhagavatam. If you have a good grasp of those 4 books, then you can really relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Because, you have the Gita perhaps not at your fingertips, but you have a good grasp. And then you can immediately, you are solid, when you enter the Bhagavatam, you are quite solid. You feel at ease. You feel, yes, I can definitely benefit because I'm on solid ground, But if you have a flimsy understanding of Gita, Shri Sho, then Bhagavatam, it's a bit shaky, you're not really fully established. Okay, second question, I believe, what was it? The different Purusharth. The end Prabhupada is quite radical sometimes. I mean, oftentimes. All the states are simply different types of sense gratification. What does it mean? I assume that you have been reading the purport, so you should know what I'm talking about.
I didn't answer this question though.
Yes, please.
No, I didn't answer this question.
Oh, you didn't answer. Okay, sorry.
So what I answered is that usually the motivation behind one's taking religion is to get facilities for one's sense gratification. And if sense gratification is obtainable by other ways, the religious path is neglected.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
This is the proof Prabhupada said that the motivation in adopting these different paths is sense gratification. I mean,
yes,
that's how I wrote it, but.
And you can see that, I agree, Prabhu. You can also see that in collective, I would say friends again, because we live here, so we are accustomed to the history. I like the history personally, not only friends, but in general, I like history. When you look at the history of France, we know the 4 pillars, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, okay? So where do you find all these great, even in Luce-le-Mal, there's a church. It's not a recent church. I would say 5-6 centuries, easy, if not more. Very often in France and European countries, you find churches 10th century, 11th century. It's not uncommon. So we cannot deny that they were pious. They had some types of religiosity, especially in the Middle Ages. Very pious. You know how long it took to build Notre Dame?
No.
162 years. So, I mean, people would embark on, can you imagine? It's like 7-8 generations of work just to build a monument to the glory of God. So we cannot say they were rascals throughout history. No, they were certainly pious. Dharma is there. But the outcome of Dharma, we come to the time of Mahaprabhu, Renaissance. Renaissance. Renaissance was exactly when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came on earth. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. And Renaissance was flourishing. I mean, in terms of arts, culture, they found the printing process. They started to move on the sea, especially the British, even the French, the Portuguese, exploring new lands. So there was a renaissance due to Dharma. If you are religious, it's going to create Dharma. I mean, Artha means, economic growth. Then you find, industrial revolution. That's art, also economic development. You find in the 18th century the trains came about. And then at the same time, Dharma, Artha, and then come. If you study the history of France again, you come to les Voltaire. This is, on appelle ça les années lumière en français. I don't know if you know about that, Sundar Prabhu.
Not much.
Voltaire, all these great authors, Voltaire, Diderot, Rousseau, Alexandre Dumas. When you read their books, because there's mixing of gender already, even in Middle Ages, genders were, quite separated. But industrial revolution as Artha, economic developments is moving about, okay? Then come mixing of gender. And you can see, you can testify in the literature, it appears that romance and genders are mixing already. Victor Hugo, you know, they're talking. They are womanizers. Lots of these authors were womanizers. They were quite gifted in terms of literature and skills, yes, but they were womanizing a lot. Come. And then we come to 20th century, the wars, 2 wars are there. And when you look at the state of affairs now, you know, people are sick and tired of everything, basically. They don't even believe in the governments. They want to just they want to break away from this life. Unfortunately, they don't have the ways and means to do so. We have to tell them. But the cycle is there. Even in France, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So this is the time is right, basically, to preach, because otherwise other movements, other religions will grab them. So, and you can see also in the history, beginning the kings were ruling, remember? In France, we had 15th century of kingship, Arinishta, do you know? Les Bourbons, all the Louis III, they are Bourbon family. It's bloodline. And then gradually, you have seen in Italy, in the Vatican, the popes themselves started to become degraded. You have seen the Borgia, you know, I don't know if you know that family, the Borgia, during the 15th century in the Vatican. They were engaging into extremely degraded activities. They were popes themselves. They were on the highest ranking of the clergy. At one point, there was one pope, she got pregnant. It was a woman, actually. They didn't know until she got pregnant. So the whole thing became extremely despicable. And now, what is the outcome of that? The kings of France, UK, they started to break away from the clergy. They understood these people are more degraded than us. So remember, according to Vedic culture, the kings are supposed to be topped over by the Brahmins, by the clergy, basically. But when they realize the clergy is degraded, then to hell with them. Let's break away from them. So now the kings are running their show themselves. They are no more administered by Brahmins. So they become corrupted themselves. And then you come to basically the revolution. What happened to the kings? Beheaded. And then what's next? Who started ruling after the revolution? Bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie. Vaishyas, basically. Middle class. Good Vaishya. I mean, well-off people. But after that, what happened? Because they started to again exploit the lower strata of society, not being guided by Brahmins. As soon as there's one saying in Bengali, the fish rots from the head. If the head is corrupted, it will bring about the downfall of the whole human civilization. The social edifice will collapse because the head is rotten. And then after the bourgeois, what do we find? You find Karl Marx in Russia propagating communism. So now we are run by Shudras. Communism means you take a Shudra, you train him up, Sciences Po, you know, there's so many good schools in Paris, to polish them, and then they become president. So you can see the downfall, individually, but also collectively, there's a downfall. So anyway, perhaps I got a bit carried away. But, you know, this is what I wanted to share a little bit, because, you know, the Purusharth, that's what it is, you know. It's all types of sense gratification. That is why in Krishna consciousness, we advocate mostly the Pancham Purusharth. Krishna consciousness is Nivriti Marg. We're not here to settle in this material world in the name of religion. We are here to Nivriti, to cease material engagement by dovetailing into Krishna. So it's a different ball game altogether. It's Nivriti Marg. Bhagavatam is Nivriti Marg. It's not Pravritti Marg. Okay, so you have anything to say? Now, next question about competition. Competition. And Prabhupada tends to say here, well, competition, that's going to breed envy. And of course, I'm being the devil's advocate again, because we talked about competition in ISKCON, in book distribution, remember, Sundar Prabhu? We're trying to be all the time, trying to sell more books than the other. We were together at Nishta together for 10 years or so, distributing books on the parking. And so we went into competition. So that was a top distributor.
Sometimes.
100 books, oftentimes. So what is this dichotomy? One sense, Prabhupada is saying, okay, envy is going to breed competition, but at the same time, he himself pushed it within ISKCON. So how to draw the line?
The difference is,
You have to speak louder, Arinishta. Do you have a good mic?
someone called and I disconnected the call and the voice kind of went down. So
yeah.
How about I log out and log in again? Is that okay?
No, it's fine. No, we can hear you. Go ahead. Oh, she's gone.
Elle a dit qu'elle allait se débrancher, se rebrancher.
Ok.
Après, moi, dans ta question, j'ai pas trop compris l'aspect. Donc, PEA, PRA, c'était.
Oui, personal application, preaching application, ouais.
Voilà, donc j'ai pas compris trop comment tu voulais qu'on réponde. Bon, j'ai donné une réponse, mais j'ai pas trop vu, voilà, comment faire la différence dans ce cas-là. Voilà.
Okay. Okay, so let's hear from Harinishta. Perhaps she has an answer. So the question is, Harinishta, it looks like Srila Prabhupada is decrying competition here. It's going to breed envy of others. We're competing. En français, on dit arriviste. Arriviste, ça veut dire we are ready to trample over anyone else for the sake of promoting ourselves, especially at work. We want to be promoted always. But here at the same time in book distribution, competition is there. Even amongst the gopis in one sense, even amongst the queens of Dwarka, we see that also. Satyabhama and, Rukmini, the Parijata flower, so many. So how to reconcile?
Là, on n'entend rien. Là.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, so the competition here, it's transcendental.
Okay.
And the competition is not about it's not selfish. It's more about pleasing Krishna, giving Krishna consciousness to others, and that helps one to be more focused, more determined in progressing. And it's in material competition, you want to become superior to others, but in spiritual competition, everybody tries to bring out the best in themselves. It's helping each other to bring out the best in each one.
Yeah, because there's no envy.
Yeah.
I'm teaching now. She didn't get the point, perhaps. What I'll do, I'm going to switch off my phone, finish. Finish. Yeah, there's no envy. As simple as that. Remember Sundar Prabhu? Yudhishthir, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Jagannath Swami.
Jagannath Swami, then that Canadian, not Canadian, he was always cheap, selling very cheap in the book. I want to make more books. Remember? Savadashi. Yeah. But you know, at night, there was a good mood. There was a good mood. You know, it was a good mood. And sometimes we would ask, well, how did you manage to sell so many books? I guess because he chanted his round better, basically. You know, so that's what I was expecting Sundar Prabhu, you know. Preaching application, I said that because it's within the realm of preaching, basically. And, when I meant personal application, I meant we should not fall into, in the name of competition within ISKCON, we should not be envious of others. Like, you know, envious of another devotee, he's joined after me, and look at him, he's so advanced, he's a sannyasi, and no, there's no need of envy. That's what I was trying to draw out.
I was thinking also maybe we could, I don't know, but I was thinking, you know, because okay, the competition is transcendental, it's for pleasing Krishna, but we are not, I also answered the same thing, you know, it's not for us, but honestly speaking, you know, we are not, I mean, devotees in the competition may not be 100% pure, and it's some envy is there, actually, some impurities. So I was thinking that Prabhupada engaged our passionate nature, and knowing that we would gradually get purified by the higher test.
Yeah.
But it's not that we were, you know, doing it always transcendental, or that still devotees are, you know, from day one because it's for pleasing Krishna, you know. But Prabhupada engaged our passionate tendencies, no?
Exactly, dovetailing,
and knowing that we would get purified by testing the high test.
Sure. And this happened actually. And you can see when it becomes out of hand, there were cases, not in France, but in America, I know, where devotees would puncture the tires of the other Sankirtan party.
Oh.
Can you imagine? That's rascaldom. So they went over the top. They fell into sheer impure envy to make them late, you know. It's craziness. Okay, so I think we got the point here. Next question. What are the three paths mentioned in the Vedas? I think it must be the next, it's in the next paragraph. It's quite common, those three divisions within the Vedas. You find them in any religion, actually. Do you know?
Actually, I found the answers were clear in the purport, but I was for me it's not evident, you know, that these three paths are mentioned in the Vedas. I don't understand actually, like, you know, first one, fruitive activities to get promotion to higher planets. Yeah. Second, demigod worship to get promotion to their respective planets. And third, realizing absolute truth in impersonal aspect or becoming one with it. That's what I know. But, you know, to what it refers actually, because it's like the first two ones are karma kanda. So I would put the first two ones in the first two in the same one, actually. What is the difference, actually?
Okay, so if I may quote 242, 243, Pushpinam Vachanam Vraja, Abravit, the flowery words of the Vedas. You are using the Vedas for the sake of promoting yourself in higher realms of the universe. That's totally fruitive. So you are resorting to the Vedas for the sake of selfish motives. That's karma kanda.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 242, I would say, is one verse into that. And Krishna is preventing Arjuna. Be careful with that path. It's not proper. Then Tregunya Vishaya Vida, it says, go beyond the Vedas, 245. So that would be karma kanda. Buddhajan used to tell us, I remember, 96% of the practitioners of the Vedas, and even all worldwide, I mean, all monotheistic religion combined, they are fruitive. Even in Christianity, in Muslim, all the monotheistic religion are kind of fruitive. As long as you're trying to get something out of your religious pursuit, this is karma kand, basically. You are using the rules of your own religion for the sake of fulfilling a material desire. That's karma kand. Jnana kand is jnana marg, jnana yoga, and there's some.
But
Yes.
Prabhu, the first two are what I don't see the difference between the first 2 points, the 2 paths.
Which one?
Fruitive activities to get promoted to our planets, and second one, demigod worship to get promotion to their respective planets. That's the second point, or what?
No, upasana kanda refers to demigod worship. You are, yeah, it's quite close, I agree. Upasana means to worship, upasate means to worship in Sanskrit. Upasana means you are worshiping the demigods, just like in Mauritius or in all these islands, Guadeloupe and even India quite a bit. They worship the demigods for the sake of promoting themselves there. So it's very close, I agree. I
always thought that Upasana Kanda was meant to, I mean, that's my mistake. My ignorance, I didn't know it was worship of demigods. I thought it was worship of Vishnu.
Well, you're right in one sense. It culminates into Vishnu worship. Once you have,
but I didn't know it referred to demigods worship.
Yeah,
actually.
upasate means to worship. So it culminates, you're right. Aradhanam savesham Vishnu arajate panta tasmat parataram devit adiyanam samarchanam. Of all types of worship, Aradhana Vishnu arajate. The highest type of worship of Aradhana means to worship, is Vishnu. And even higher than that, Lord Shiva is telling Parvati, Tadiya, if you worship the paraphernalia, the devotees, Mad Bhakta Puja Vyadika, devotees, Tulasi, whatever belongs to Krishna is even more worshipable than Vishnu himself, than Krishna himself. But you're right, Prabhu, I agree. Karma Kand and Upasana Kand is very close. Upasana means to worship. Then Jnana Kand, we know what it is. It's okay, Alenishta, you want to tell us what is Jnana Kand? Or Jnana Marg, Jnana Yoga, There's a few verses in the Gita. Do you know what is Jnana Yoga? It's higher already. They are already higher. Why? Why they are higher than
because they are not they are trying to reject material
Yes.
Desires, material activities.
Exactly. They want to break free from the shackles of this world. So on that sense, they're definitely a different category. They don't want to linger in this world. They're aiming at, extracting themselves from this material tabernacle. So in that sense, they are more lofty, definitely. But unfortunately for them, oftentimes they end up into monastic pursuit, quoting Upanishads, and unfortunately, they end up into an impersonal path. That's the problem. Moksha, mukti, they want Brahmanand, they want to merge. So that's a sad state of affair, because they get trapped. They get sidetracked, But then Prabhupada concludes very beautifully. That's another question. From Srimad Bhagavatam, one can come to know the substance. Vastu Shivadam. Vastu means the substance, as well as the categories. And then he goes, the substance is the absolute truth, Param Satyam Dhimahi, and all emanations are relative forms of energy. So how do you understand this sentence? It's a bit, at first sight, it seems complicated, but there's a way to explain it. all emanations are relative forms of energy. Because I was under the impression that emanations means Vishnu Tattva, you know, like Vamdev, Ayagriv, you know, they are male, Purush. And then energy means Prakriti. So here, Srila Prabhupada tends to mix the two. All emanations are relative forms of energy. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit, at first sight, mind-boggling.
Cryptic.
Yeah.
Sometimes Prabhupada, he expresses, I think, in some cryptic
Yeah.
way. You know, it's difficult to
codified. I mean, it's Bhagavatam. Huh? Especially, remember, this is 62. He's like very much loaded. Huh? He has this intent to go to America. He wants to conquer the world, basically. So this first canto is loaded, huh? Very much loaded with Prabhupada's Vigyan, you know, it's totally boiling over, basically. So how would you explain Sundar Prabhu?
Well, I don't know if I really shed light on this. You know, I said that Krishna, okay, is the supreme truth, is the supreme Lord, is the only substance, you could say.
Yeah.
And everything else, not only, everything else basically is just his energy. And it's just manifesting partially some of his qualities, but never the whole substance.
Yeah, it's well answered. Well answered. Arinishta Devidasi, would you like to add up?
Well, more or less the same what Sundar Gopal Prabhu said.
Okay. I found 7.4. It's because I was trying to research. I was a bit unsettled by this sentence, I have to admit. And then yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like you to emphasize a little bit on the relative forms, the word relative.
Yeah. Well, relative means not absolute.
Yes,
Shakti, Shakti Matayo Abeda, Vedanta Sutra. So Shakti are not different from the Shaktiman. But at the same time, the Shaktiman is always more than the energy. Prabhupada gives the example, the sun is there, so you have definitely sunshine in your room and heat and light, but you cannot expect to have the full sun in your room, otherwise you would be burnt to ashes. So the energies are always relative to the Shaktiman. You understand? Ekadesh Chitasyagne, Joshta Vishtarini Yataha. The sun is fixed. So many energies are spread across. Krishna is in Golok, Golak Nivasati, Akiratma Bhuta. But the Brahmajyoti and all the Parasya Shakti, Vivedeva Shriyate, Svabhaviki Jnana Balakriyacha, all these energies are spreading across the creation, material and spiritual. But he himself is doing something else. So in that sense, but what I found here in 7.4, because again, this sentence is a bit boggling. Material nature is called Prakriti, we know, or the energy of the Lord in his different Purush incarnations. So what I understood is that behind each emanations of God, they are multifarious, unlimited. Sutta Goswami explained this, as many avatars as the waves on the ocean. So behind each of them, they are Purush, they are male, they are Vishnu Tattva. You find energies. You follow? Material nature is called Prakriti. Okay? Or the energy of the Lord in his different Purush incarnation. So behind the Purush, there is an energy. Behind the male, there is a female. Behind Mahavishnu, there is Ramadevi. Behind Lord Shiv, there is Durga. Behind Lord Krishna, there is Radharani. This is my understanding. Yes.
What do you mean by behind? Or is it on this on?
Well, for Krishna, Radha Krishna is on the same levels. I shouldn't say behind. Yeah, Radha Krishna is not Radha is not different from Krishna. But you know, from the Purush controls an energy.
Oh, okay.
In that sense. So all emanations are relative forms of energy, means they rule an energy. Like for instance, Shrimati Radharani, she rules Ladini Shakti. Durga, she rules Devidam. This world is called Devidam. That's her dominion. Her energy is there. That's the energy. The energy of this world is basically female. Durga is a female. You know, Prakriti Mohinim Shritaha, Krishna says, 9:13. Don't fall under Prakriti Mohinim Shritaha. Don't take shelter of Prakriti Mohinim. So that is why we are enamored by the feminine energy in this world, because she rules the place. She's a female, you know. And since we identify to being male, we are becoming enamored. We attract her, she attracts us. So my understanding of this sentence is behind each Purush, male, emanation, or expansion of expansion, you find energies. This is my understanding, basically. But I feel like sending a letter to, when I get stuck in philosophy, I send a letter to Adi Purush. I don't know if you know him. Adi Purush, Prabhu, when we were studying under Buddhism, he was one of us. Buddhism would turn to him, and he would, because he reads in Sanskrit, you know. Adi Purush reads in Sanskrit just like we speak English, basically. So, he has always the last word, I remember. Even Buddhism would, you know, finish with him, because he speaks Sanskrit, basically. He has a full grasp of Sanskrit. It's amazing personality. So anyway, that's what I would say. I will write to him. Let's see if he has more to say. Then let's move on. Correct me. I mean, stop me if you want to address anything else. The substance. No, we discussed. Then next, Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva. It appears in the next paragraph. What is Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva in plain and simple words in relation to that paragraph? I would say it's paragraph all the way down, page 49. See, this knowledge that the energy of the Lord is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord is an answer to the mental speculator's attempt to establish the energy as the absolute. Which philosophy is that? There's a philosophy in India. It is exactly what they promulgate. The energy rules. They are called in one word. How do you call them in Sanskrit?
Oh, that's what you said, the Shaktas?
The Shaktas.
Oh.
The Shaktas are those people, they advocate that the Shaktis predominate. And oftentimes they are staunch worshippers of Durga. They're considering that the Shaktis are ruling the creation. Apparently this is true, but it's just like 14.4 Bhagavad Gita, Mahad Yoni, Mahad Brahma. Krishna says, I impregnate this Mahad Brahma, this Prakriti. And he gives the example of the Scorpio, remember? The female Scorpio, Harinishta, remember? She laid the eggs in the pile of rice, and the layman will think, oh, look, the baby Scorpio, they're taking birth from the rice. The little that she didn't know that actually the male has impregnated the female. And then she goes to the rice because she knows rice is conducive to my eggs to be, how do you say, éclore. Comment on dit éclore?
To
hatch. To hatch. Thank you. Rice is conducive for the Scorpio eggs to hatch. The female knows. It doesn't mean she hasn't been impregnated first. So in the same way, the Shaktas are just always glorifying the Shaktis. But if there's a creation, means there's a creator. You want to add up?
That's basically the scientists.
Yeah, exactly. That is why Prabhupada was always challenging them, my dear sir, please create a grain of rice. Please create an egg, just an egg of a hen. No, we'll do it later. Okay, so let's move on. Next question is, yeah, I mean, what is it here? What does it take to break free from the 3 types of klesha? Well, this is quite, sometimes on dit en français, ouvrir une porte ouverte. Well, it's not a difficult one. No? Well, we answered before, right in the Sanskrit of 112. Tapatradyo Mulanam. As soon as basically the Bhagavatam itself cannot prove the miseries. What to speak of the combination of Harinam Prabhu, chanting the holy names, plus Bhagavatam, plus Prashad, plus taking darshan, plus, devotees association. I mean, it goes without saying. Then 9, we discussed 9 already. 10, yeah, it's a nice sentence, very short, but very, I would say, it's quite loaded sentence. The process is simple, application is difficult. Did you note it in 112?
Yes.
It's a nice sentence. I often quote that sentence in my preaching or in my teaching. How do you understand that? The process is simple, the application is difficult.
I let you the priority, Mataji, all the time. First, ladies.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
I'll try to accept it. If it's approached but in a challenging attitude, then what is simple and straightforward, it's difficult to understand the transcendental message. It won't go through. Am I on the track?
I mean, it's a
Depends
good.
on
I didn't think of that one, but it's a good answer, I would say. Even Mahaprabhu said, it is simple for the simple, complicated for the complicated. The most difficult thing without Mahaprabhu, with Mahaprabhu is very simple. And without Mahaprabhu, the most simple thing is difficult. But I was thinking from a different angle. Sundar Prabhu.
So what I wrote is that this process is simple because it consists of hearing submissively the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, so it's very simple. But the application is difficult because we have a test for mundane topics and not for this subject, transcendental subject. We say we don't have time, or we jump directly to the rasa dance because we take it for mundane sex. Yeah. So either we don't have test, or even if we try to apply the process, we apply it in a wrong way. We don't follow the right method, and we go first to the 10th canto. So
yeah,
what I said.
Still a different angle, but I appreciate. See, this is what we're discussing today in 14.1, Sundar. It's called philosophical speculation. There's nothing wrong with that. I've tried to take it from
the. I've tried to take it from the purport, actually.
Yeah, this is why I always read in English, if you ask me, because look at this sentence in 14.1. If one understands this chapter through the process of philosophical speculation, it will come to an understanding of devotional service. Prabhupada. Look, take the French version. Sentence is gone. I think it's a heavy problem, if you ask me. There's only one example.
Maybe the devotee who read it thought it couldn't be real because speculation
And
usually has.
no, because when I teach Bhakti Shastri, I always emphasize the same point. There's a letter to Prabhupada. He says there's a major difference between mental speculation, philosophical speculation. Philosophical speculation, just like we're doing now. Look at this. The process is simple, application is difficult. We're coming with 3 different versions. Adenish had one, you had one, I have another one.
Okay.
Are we wrong? No. We have different angles based on Shastra. It's totally bona fide. You're having Ishtagostin in the temple, you're discussing about devotee care, for instance. That's Krishna conscious. Everyone is going to angle out differently on devotee care. That's philosophical speculation based on Shastra. It's fine. Prabhupada says here, 14.1. So what I was thinking in that sentence is, when I joined, I remember, as you know, devotees always say 4 eggs, 16 rounds, 4 eggs. So, when I joined, it was the same story. And I was thinking, why they always repeat themselves? And now I understand. Because when you come, everything is fresh and you just jump into it. It's easy in one sense. But follow the 4 eggs all your life and chant 16 rounds all your life. After 20, 30 years, 40 years, you realize actually it's not always easy because you go up and down. So the process is simple, but the application, because the mind is always pulling here, pulling there, the application is maybe more difficult to apply as times go on. And of course, if you get purified sufficiently, you will be able to move further. Anyway, that was my humble vision on it.
So it raises a question in my mind that, so when you are asked the questions like this, does it give an open option of, I thought we had, if we don't mention something which is not in the purport of Prabhupada, we are, wrong.
No.
We should find only things in the purport.
Well, yes and no. I mean, this kind of sentence, it's open for enlarged answers, obviously. Process is simple, application is difficult. The open door is, do you have an open door here? As long as it is within the realm of Krishna consciousness, just like we came up with 3 different answers, they're not wrong. But Prabhupada, if he wrote that sentence, means he has something to say. And he wants us to fill in the blanks, What does it take for us in terms of difficult application of the process? We have to, and this is personal application. You have to, where do I have difficulty in the application of the process? Is it difficult for me? Some devotees will say, no, Prabhu, application is simple for me. Then they advance. If someone says, actually, he's right, application is difficult for me. So then, Prabhu, what is your difficulty? Please tell us. Because everyone is at different levels. So we have to acknowledge that. If Prabhupada is writing this sentence in 112, it means it's happening. Some devotees will say no. Because for them, it has become a second nature. It's like unconscious competency. You are unconsciously competent. When you drive your car, are you thinking of driving your car? You can see sometimes you even have your phone. It's Maya. But you're driving the car, you have your phone. So, I mean, you have become unconsciously competent in driving your car. So for some people are unconsciously competent. They're so Krishna conscious, they're not even consciously aware that they are Krishna conscious. That is why you see Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, I'm lower than the worm in the stool. So, I mean, this sentence is mind-boggling. He has written Chaitanya Charitamrita. So how could he write such a sentence? Is it false humility? How do you explain that? I'm lower than the women's too. Anyway, there's room for improvement. It's food for thought. Okay, let's see where we stand here. Ashirvad. Well, we discussed the Ashirvad of there's 2 or 3 already in 112. Huh? Okay, what's the time? 1:45. We have started at 5:30, so we have another. Yeah, we can do it. 113. Unless you have any other thing to say on 112.
I have a question very
Yes,
quickly
please.
about what you mentioned. It's true that, I mean, personally, I experienced what you mentioned, that with time, in the beginning, we start following the 4 regulatory principles, chanting, and after years, I realized that it's not easy to always chant.
I fully agree.
Always. It sometimes it's more difficult than in the beginning days.
I fully agree.
So, was it not supposedly be easier because from the beginning we are getting purified, we're
Yeah.
doing some progress, but it's like
Yeah. Sundar, you want to
contradictory
answer?
experience.
Sundar, Prabhu, you want to answer that?
No,
No.
I'm not the one. I mean, it reminds me of when devotee told this story that he was sitting in Los Angeles temple and he heard Prabhupada saying the same thing. That if you just chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 regulatory principles, and that devotee said, I thought, such a simple process. I mean, such a simple thing. And he said, like 30 years later, he was sitting in the same temple room. But when Prabhupada said this, the temple room was full to the, to the max.
Yeah.
And 30 years later, he looked around, there was like 3-4 devotees, So he said, I realized.
Yeah, see, this is very good realization. Huh? I would say, Rinishta, I don't know if you know the book Madhurya Kadambini. There's 6 symptoms of Anishtita Bhakti. Nishta Bhakta, we know, and Nishtita Bhakta, unstable Bhakti. And he gives beautiful 6 symptoms. There's, for instance, Vyuda Vikalpa. And they go in order, they are crescendo. And you see the 6, Vyuda Vikalpa. Sometimes your Taranga, there's so many, Tarangarangini, Vyuda Vikalpa, Niyamakshana. The first one is right here on my wall, actually. I don't want to mix up the order. Let me put the light. I don't want to speculate. Utsayamayi. This is the first one. Utsayamayi. Utsayamayi means utsaha, enthusiasm. You bubble with enthusiasm. You join ISKCON and you're going to conquer the world, 10 hours on book distribution, and you are like, fired up. And then Ganatalala. Ganatalala means your spiritual life is dense, very thick, like milk is boiling, there's cream, it's boiling, it's dense. And then next day, next week, thin. Your spiritual life is thin. You are in the mind, I don't want to get up, I'm sick and tired, And so all these symptoms are there. They are delineated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in that book. I would strongly advise you to read it. Then it's right here on my board. I've got a poster here. Utsayamayi, Ganatala. And then it goes further. Niyama Akshana means you have had time to follow the vows. Sometimes you succumb. And then the last one, Tarangarangini, you enjoy the waves. You enjoy the byproducts of Bhakti. What are the byproducts of Bhakti? What is it, for instance? You know, you've been in ISKCON, you found your little niche in ISKCON, and there's so many byproducts coming at you because you've been practicing Bhakti for a while.
You're honored.
Yeah. You're honored, you may have a beautiful wife, a nice car, a nice house. Your reputation is there, you know, certain respect is given to you. You found your mark, you found your niche. And it's explained at length by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Tarangara, you are enjoying the waves. So you got sidetracked. On the contrary, if you are vigilant, you can see yourself enjoying the waves. All these things are precursor to Nishtha. These 6 symptoms are preventing you from coming to Nishtha. So no wonder at Nishtha, you have this realization, I do have also. Sometimes you find it more difficult than 40 years ago. Because we're going through, it's like a desert. You travel, Anattanivritti means you traverse a desert. And you have to be prepared to traverse the desert. You need water, you need friends. It's going to be a long haul. So,
But in the class, you gave the example of the dead zone.
Yeah.
In Himalayas or something, Everest.
Everest. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's very interesting. I was telling that in the class. Yeah. So the deadly
zone somewhere.
I was giving
have,
example. You know that dead zone, Alinishta?
No.
It's quite because I like mountain climbing, I have to admit. And then you look at report on you will see right before the summit, there's a dead zone. And you find so many corpses. I mean, it's quite a shock. They've been here 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. They're frozen. And why this dead zone? Because thin air. And you're so tired from the ascension. You are climbing this Everest mountain. And if you stop in that dead zone, you won't be able to get up. And you die. And the summit is not far. So everyone is being told, don't stop here. You better stop before. But when you traverse that dead zone, don't stop. Anyway, it was just a crude analogy. Because in Krishna consciousness, we never lose.
So, what is the experience of the dead zone in spiritual life? You're giving like an analogy.
As I said, it was an analogy, but analogy means it's not absolute, you know. I was just trying to emphasize that Anattanivritti is the tough part of Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
Anattanivritti, you know, I'm into personally. I know I'm into Anattanivritti. I know. So this is a tough part. In the sense, it's like a desert. You know, there's not much taste. You carry on, but you are still confronted to anishtita symptoms to some extent. Sometimes not, sometimes yes. So we need help. That's why Bhagavatam is a great boon, because we are constantly reminded, you know, this is our great fortune actually. And I'm sure more will come, more will join. As you discuss about Bhagavatam around you, people will, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it. Okay, 3. Okay, Arinishta, you recite.
The 3rd verse?
Yeah.
Nigamakalpataror. I don't know the meter though. I just.
The meter here. Would you know, Sundar Prabhu?
Well, I don't know the meter, but I would go simple like she started.
Yeah. Go ahead. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the meter.
So I'll do it. Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam shuka mukad amrita drava samyutam hibata bhagavatam rasam alayam muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Translation: O expert and thoughtful man, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukdev Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls.
Yeah. So, what would you say about this verse at first sight? What do we learn here? Is it
Yes,
Vasilvesh? Is it Ashirvad? Is it Namaskar?
this is Ashirvad.
Yes, definitely. Okay. So, first of all, it is again a bit like two. Nigama kalpatalo garitam phalam. It is again glorifying Shrimad Bhagavatam, the lofty position of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpatalo garitam phalam, the mature fruit of the desire of the Vedic tree. So that's definitely right from the start, emphasis on Shrimad Bhagavatam. And then it gives, definitely glorifies something else. What is it?
Shukadev Goswami.
Yeah, I would say the concept behind Shukadev Goswami is parampara. Because Shukadev is definitely a very lofty Mahabhagavad, no doubt. The epitome of Shravanam, or Kirtanam, sorry. He represents Kirtanam. But behind him, there's a whole parampara coming from Krishna through him. Vyasadev is his father, then Suta Goswami, then sages of Nimisharanya, so there's a whole line going down. And of course, at the end, it's Srila Prabhupada. So via the medium, we are talking about the parampara of the Bhagavatam here. So it is more relishable. Did you notice? Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. It is Rasam, Bhakti Ras. Ras is a very lofty term in Sanskrit. It needs 5 components in Ras. We will discuss in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But it is there already. It's meant for pure souls. Atmarama Shamunayo. But it becomes even more reachable in Parampara. Because each Acharya brings up its own taste, its own rasa. You read Srila Prabhupada, you read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Bhaktisiddhanta, they have their own rasas. Do you follow? And you have seen in 111, I don't know if you pay attention, it's a long purport, but at one point it says here, within the past 500 years, many erudite scholars and acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Balacharya, many other distinguished scholars, even after the time of Mahaprabhu, made elaborate commentaries on the Bhagavatam. And a serious student would do well to attempt to go through them to better relish the transcendental messages. So there's nothing wrong, especially if you have a good grasp of the philosophy. It will make your taste more relishable. And then he explains something, beautiful analogy in 113. What is it? In terms of dealing with Am means mango in Hindi. What is the composition? What is the texture of Bhagavatam? Is it solid? Is it liquid? Amrita Drava.
It's liquid.
Well, look at this word to word. It's not liquid exactly. It's like mango. Is a mango liquid?
You extract the juice out of it. Yeah.
It's semi-solid. See, look at this. Prabhupada said semi-solid.
And soft. Yeah. And
therefore easily soluble. So that is why, even though it's not meant for us, we have to remember Bhagavatam is meant for the liberated souls. But yet, because it's been touched by the beak of Shuk is inspired, actually parrot of Srimati Radharani, it's become relishable. And then, ever since Shukadev, so many acharyas, Ramanuj, Madhva, Vishnu Swami, and they, not all, but quite a few of them commented on Bhagavatam. Sridhar Swami, Mahaprabhu said this is the Pati. What is the Pati? Pati is the father of commentators, is Sridhar Swami, according to Mahaprabhu. Sridhar Swami, 12th century. So there's so many. Prabhupada used to, there's about 110 commentators on Bhagavatam. Prabhupada used to consult 10, 11 commentators to read his purports. Okay, so let's move into the question. I don't think they are difficult also. How should we receive the Bhagavatam? It's quite there in the first paragraph.
Yeah.
Yes.
With great respect and attention, with a submissive and patient mood.
Yes.
So I have submissive, I understood, but can you elaborate on patient?
On attention?
No, patient. The mood, we should be patient. Patient.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate? What does that?
Well, I would say, because it's not going to happen overnight. Especially, we are meant to study it systematically. And we have the tendency to jump over. I remember Bimdev Prabhu, him, Sundar, the devotee. He told me when I joined, he joined before me. I still remember today. He told me, you study 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Bhagavatam, don't go any over the 4th chapter canto. And I listened to him like blindly. I would never go beyond 4. He was somewhat my leader, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I did that. And by the time I got to the 5th canto, I was like running, because I had remained in the foundation of Bhagavatam purposefully. I was listening to him. He was my authority. And actually, it was a great advice. If I had run like a fool, it says, fools rush in when angels tread in. You know the saying. Fools rush in when angels tread in. So he told me, don't be so passionate like this. Just stick to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the basis. And actually 1, 2 is the feet, and 3, 4 in the thighs. It's the foundation of Krishna, the foundation of the book. Then I really relished that advice of his. By the time I moved further, I was really relishing. And then Buddha came in the picture. So that was totally pure ecstasy.
So what is the rule in ISKCON about the Srimad Bhagavatam class? Is it like we now reading the 9th canto in New Mayapur? Is it like this? So I heard some temples, they never go, after, they stop at the 2nd, 3rd canto or something, and they come back at the start. No,
I don't think it's proper to do that, because we are meant to go through the whole book, especially as long as you study it systematically, like we are doing now. There's no harm. We're going to move, and one day we'll do the 10th canto, we'll be in bliss,
But one thing is, like in the temples, like you get the new attendance all the time. People join, they come for the first week.
You cannot control that. You cannot control.
Then they come then the first day, and they're listening to.
Yeah, so that is the discretion of the lecturer. That is why.
Like recently, we had very difficult, very tough verses for
I got one.
newcomers.
I got one.
You got one, huh?
But I mean,
About women,
it is the discretion of the lecturer. That is why it's good to ask who is a brand new devotee who came first. Then you have to adapt your class to that person. It's the discretion of the lecturer.
It can be quite frustrating for the lecturer and for the listeners. I mean, for the others to always, it would be the basis again,
Yeah, but again, it's a very good point you're putting forward. We have to take into account the audience. We will come to that very shortly, in the first chapter. You will see the intimacy between the speaker and the audience. It will come very soon. There's a great intimacy. If the audience is not fit, the lecturer can smell it. And conversely, if the lecturer is not fit, the audience can smell it. So there is intimacy. It's a two-way traffic, There is lots of intimacy. There should be intimacy between the audience and the lecturer. There's a chemistry should be there. And it is on the part of the lecturer to create that. That's why it takes expertise, it takes skills and it takes experience to do that. So that the message can be imparted. If you're in a challenging mood, I don't like this devotee giving the class, I don't like him. Already you're cutting yourself loose, Or if you come in a challenging manner, okay, that's him giving the class. Okay, let me go, but he's so young and so, who is he actually? You can rest assured you're not gonna extract much from that class. I remember Gopipalananda Prabhu, you know him, he left the world. And can you imagine his level? Senior most Sanskritist in ISKCON. I used to attend his classes.
He was the one living in Govardhan?
Yeah. He got bitten by a snake. He must have gone back to Govardhan. He was
he left his body because of a snake?
Yeah, it's a nice story. I can tell you.
I thought it was his asthma.
No, he got bitten by a snake. It could be a combination of the two. But I remember, anyone who's giving the class, can you imagine? Is a sitting. Anyone. And it could be me. Even I could be a brand new devotee is sitting.
Wow.
One day, as I asked him, Prabhu, I know you're very busy, but I notice you always sit in all the classes. Yes, there's always something to draw. See, he finished the Bhagavatam. Can you imagine Harinishna with Hridaya Maharaj, Dravid Prabhu? Is like, and plus it's a gem, not only Shastric wise, but in terms of Krishna consciousness. Very humble. I invited him over for prasad one day.
It was really like the perfect Brahmana.
Yeah. So no, I think we should move on. Prabhupada, Prabhupada wrote these books day and night. We should release those books, but in order, patiently, like we say in Harinishna, patiently it will come to us. And even we are in the beginning of Bhagavatam, isn't that releasable? It's Prabhupada, it's Shukdev Goswami, Vyasadeva, still Vyasadeva. It's releasable. It's all mishti, in mishti in Hindi, it's sweet. Beginning, middle, end. You die. Can you imagine you die today? Right now, it's so great. You die discussing about Bhagavatam. Where are you going? It's not a waste of time. It's like chanting your rounds. Is it a waste of time? So, we cannot be better situated. You have to be convinced of the immense benefit of Bhagavatam. And that comes with realization, with experience. You have to be exposed to Bhagavatam. It will transform. I told you it's a processor. It's going to process your realization, process your inner being, your psyche. Everything is going to be processed for the better. Next question. Regulated knowledge involves a gradual raising of the living entity to the spiritual platform, and the highest spiritual realization is knowledge. That the person regarded is the reservoir of all spiritual taste or rasas. What is the name that Krishna he carries? That name is the reservoir of all spiritual rasas. This is the first verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Beautiful name of Lord Krishna. Akhil Rasamrita Murti.
Oh, yes, that's it.
Akhil Rasamrita. In other words, he embodies all the rasas. You want to steal from Krishna? No problem. You want to have a loving relationship with Krishna? No problem. Anything you want, no problem. Krishna is like that. He will adapt himself to you. So my question was, regulated knowledge involves a gradual raising of the living entity. It's well put. See, the Prabhupada he has the skill to phrase a sentence in a very loaded manner. I noticed in the Sri Show also. He maneuvers the English. In other words, he's important even for phrasing the sentence in such a way that it catches your attention. And this is the beauty of Bhagavatam. Even the phrasing of the sentence is catchy. I mean, at least for me. So regulated knowledge involves a gradual raising. What's the meaning of that?
I wrote that, I don't know if it refers to the normal process of going through Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and then, getting to the Bhakti Shastras. And does it refer to this? That's what I understood, but maybe not.
Yeah, this is, see again, 14.1, Gita. Philosophical speculation. We're dealing with your Vigyan here, Prabhu. We cannot say it's right or wrong. I understand differently, but I appreciate your input because it's not wrong. It's your angle. We cannot say it's right or wrong.
Well, but maybe if you ask this question, the answer is in the purport itself, no? But
yeah. So what is the answer then in the purport?
Well, for me it was that, but maybe actually it was not mentioned like I phrase it. I don't remember even how I got to this conclusion from the purport. Maybe not from the purport.
Yeah, sometimes it's unspoken.
Yeah.
So sometimes that is more than vision of Prabhupada. If you know Prabhupada a little bit, and I guess we know after 10, 20, 40 years, then you know where Prabhupada is driving at, in one sense. So the way I understood it is different. But let's hear from Arenishta Devi Basi.
Oh, I don't have much to say. I would like to hear from you.
Anyway, I respect what Sundar Prabhu says. My understanding of this is regulated knowledge involves a gradual raising of the living entity to the spiritual platform. I would say it has to do with sadhana bhakti, regulated. That's the way I understand. Sadhana means regulated. Yam niyam. We do things, we don't do things. We have to follow a certain procedure. So regulated knowledge, in other words, you study under authority. Here we are studying under authority. Prabhupada, Shukdev Goswami, this institute has been acknowledged. So we are under authority. It's regulated in that sense. We're not wildly studying. And if we do so, as a sadhaka, we are regulated. Even in terms of approaching knowledge, we are regulated. Then it's going to carry us more and more to higher realms of understanding, higher realms of bhakti. That's the way I
have.
See, Sundar, we have different analysis. It doesn't mean one is right and the other is wrong.
So basically, if we refer to this paragraph where it's quoted, which starts by the Vedas are compared to the desire tree because they contain all things knowable. they deal with mundane necessities. So Vedas contain regulated principles of knowledge covering social, blah, blah. So that's why I thought, you know, it refers to Karma Kanda.
This is a good answer.
But so I made like a link between, it's like a continuation between, you know, you start by this and then you go to the spiritual, you know, I mean, the Bhakti Shastras. And but what you did differently. You did like, you took like what I understand at least, that this first part, that's the Vedas, you know, the mundane necessities, you know, and then how it's like they have regulated principles for this knowledge, specific knowledge, only dealing with social, political, religious, and then the second part you took it as separate, but for spiritual knowledge you also need regulated knowledge in the form of sadhana. You took it like two different parts, no?
Yeah, but again, you know, this is my input, and
that's eye-opening actually, because I didn't think of this, but it makes really sense actually.
So that's sense. This is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. No?
Yeah.
We're not dealing with open, it's called open, how do you say, close-ended question, yes or no. Is Krishna God? This is a close-ended question. We're dealing with open-ended question here. So it calls for an answer. And answer, especially in the realm of Krishna consciousness, has to do with Vigyan, with realization. So I would say both of our angles are fine, if you ask me. Okay, let's move on. I don't think we may finish today. It's 17 already. Let's move on. Yeah, so next sentence. Every living entity beginning from Brahma, the first born living being within the material world, down to the insignificant ants, desires to relish some sort of taste derived from sense perceptions. So immediately, you know, sometimes I will call on this type of recall. Is in the aims, there's 8 aims in this book. Remember, knowledge and recall. And you should be able at this level to recall Bhagavad Gita in order to support a particular point in Bhagavatam. Oh yes, it is supported by this shloka in the Gita. At Bhakti Vibhav level, you should be able to do that. And vice versa. In the Gita, oh yes, there is this story or that shlok that corroborates the point of Krishna here. You should be able to come to that. May not be able today, but this is one of the goals of this Bhakti Vibhav. So Gita shloks, sense perception, which verse do you think of? Remember, the second chapter, I'll give you the clue.
I didn't go much into research. I had one verse came to my mind, and I quoted like 13:22.
Yeah, not bad. See, I kind of... Yes, go ahead, Narinishta.
I thought about the verse 213.
Oh, 213 or 214? I thought of 214 myself. Well, close. Go ahead. Perhaps you meant 214. Which one you meant? Go ahead in Sanskrit.
Matras Pashtu Kampiya.
That's 214. We are on the same page. Excellent. That's not 214, it's 214. Go ahead, explain it.
Yes.
Matras Pasha.
Matras Pashtu Kampiya, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada, Agama Payino Nitya, Tam Tikshava Bharata.
So explain the connection with that sentence.
Yeah, the translation. No, you go ahead.
Well, you found at least, I mean, that's a beautiful quote because I was thinking of the same. See, Matra Sparshas tu Konteya. Sparsha means sense perception. So whatever we encounter in this world is due to sense perception. Whether you're about Brahma or ant. So we derive a taste actually within the Pancha Mahabhuts. It contains the sense object. isn't it? Like, what is,
Mhm.
how do you perceive, what is the sense in you? Basically, it's a Gyanendriya. Which Gyanendriya enables you to perceive sensually, in terms of, let's say, you know, you're touching something, the touch aspect. Which Panchamahabhut is it?
You mean sense organ?
Yeah, but which Panchamahabhut, which gross element enables you to? Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Air. It's because only because of air that you can perceive the sense perception. Like, you know, you touch this table, oh, it's hard, it's supple, it is coarse, it is extremely slick and smooth, because you have hair, because of your skin first, and because of your hair on your skin, that enables you to apprehend you can perceive the things and persons also. You like to touch, you like, so the touching part. So the air contains the sense object of what? Of skin. Because of air only, your skin can function. If there would be no air in the universe, your skin won't be able to apprehend anything. So the way I understood it here is that wherever you linger in the creation, you are, unfortunately, we want to relish some type of taste derived from sense perception. It could be sparsh, it could be ganda. The best verse for that is 15:8. Remember? Krishna says, 15:9. Shrotam shakshu sparshanam sha. We are endowed each time we take birth with a new body, right? A new mind surrounded by Gyanendriya. Shrotram, ear, Shakshu, eyes, Sparshanam, 214, touch, Rasanam, we have a tongue, we want to taste, Granam, we want to smell. So this is the state of affair, whether you are Brahma, whether you are Ant, to different degree, of course. But you can see how we are being caught in the shackles of material nature because of our senses. I found this sentence quite edifying, basically.
I was thinking of this verse, actually, the last verse, but I didn't research it and I couldn't remember where it was in Bhagavad Gita, but yeah, another set of senses, like.
Yeah, this is beautiful. See, it's like it creates an harmony between the books, you know.
Mm.
It's like, I would say, like a thread, you know. You are waving a thread through the Shastra. Buddhajan was giving us that. I'm telling you, it was magic. Buddhajan has this expertise. He's weaving through. It's like he's taking you, you know, like by the hand. He's taking you on a journey. It's literally a journey. You're no more in the classroom. You are, you know, on a journey of Shastric adventure. Let's put it this way, you know. It was like that. So when do the secondary rasas kick in then? You have seen 113. We'll stop after that. 113 deals a lot with rasas. There's primary rasas, secondary rasas. So Prabhupada made a beautiful point. We are used to the primary rasas, we heard so many times, Shantaras, Dasyana. But then the secondary rasas, what is their concern? What's the purpose of those rasas?
Well, they are enhancing, and they are completing the primary rasas, I would say. Yes. They're like, but what I found the answer, I don't remember where exactly, but that actually they kick in when the primary rasas are absent. Exactly. But I was surprised because I thought like, okay, you have the, let's say, Vatsalya ras. Okay.
Yes.
So Rodra, anger, could be, I mean, simultaneous, like, Mother Yashoda getting angry after Krishna. So how does it disappear, the first rasa, I don't know why we say, when the primary rasa is absent.
Well, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's called rasabas. There is certain secondary rasas that do not mix at all with the primary rasas.
Yeah, but when they do mix, when like anger and Vatsalya ras, I think they are not contradictory, or even
they enhance actually, like you said.
Yeah, okay, but why it's absent? I mean, like Mother Yashoda is angry after Krishna. I mean, the Vatsalya ras is plainly present, no? It's fully present at the same time.
True. So
how can you say that it's absent?
Can you find me this sentence? Oh yes, when these five are absent, love is present indirectly in anger.
Yeah.
Well, no, I understand. If if there is no pure rasas with your partner or any person, if it's missing, then it's going to translate into the secondary rasas. Like, for instance, I'll take an example. Prabhupada is giving an example down below. You marry a girl or she marries a man out of love, apparently, and 5 years down the road, because love disappeared, it was not love, actually, it was lust. And what happened? Due to
They
growth,
kill each other or something.
on appelle ça un crime passionnel, n'est-ce pas?
Yeah.
He's going to kill the guy.
So it means only when we're talking about the perverted secondary rasas.
Yeah.
Not the pure ones.
Not the pure ones. Let's say if you want to delve into that domain, I would advise you to read Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Southern Ocean.
We just read it with my wife. We finished it recently.
Yeah, this is the whole ocean, Southern Ocean, deals with rasas.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't cover it in Bhakti Shastri. In Bhakti Shastri, we only cover the northern, the northern Uttar Vibhag.
So as you said, Prabhupada, sometimes we have to understand, like, if he says where, I don't remember where this sentence is, you just quoted it up, where they're absent when
these five are absent, love is present indirectly in anger, wonder, comedy, bibats, those seven.
Yeah. So actually, Prabhupada refers to the seven in the perverted form.
Yes, exactly.
Not in the pure form.
No.
Because they can be simultaneously in the pure form. They actually.
Of course.
Okay, I understand.
No. Don't mix the two here. We're talking material affairs.
Okay.
And now another sentence that struck me, I don't know if I put it in the homework. There is no possibility of an exchange or rasa between a man and an animal. So then
you put it in the question as a question.
Oh, is it? Okay, good. It still strikes me today.
Yeah.
Because people will scream at you. My dear sir, I've got one dog, two dogs. Leave me alone. I've got a nice rasa with my dog. So, what would you say?
Well, what I answered to this, I don't know, Mataji, what you answered, but I answered that it's so insignificant, actually, in quantity and quality, that compared even to mundane rasas between human beings, that it's practically, we can say there is no ras. It's so insignificant. But there is some. My daughter, she has a cat. We have two cats in the home. And I have a small rasa with the second one. He's very stupid, but he likes me. And, it's like, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying. It seems to me that book was written in 62. We are very interesting. 60 years sharp. Exactly 60 years. So even in the span of 60 years, things have degraded so much, because in lieu of having normal human relationship, like Prabhupada is indirectly pointing at. We should be having at least harmonious between humans, relations between humans. Now the state of affair is so bad, 60 years down the road, that now people are more into having animal relationship than even men, or I mean human relationship. They keep a dog, they keep a cat, they are below already, they are preparing the next life, basically. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. I've seen Prabhupada, one cat is jumping on his lap, he's pushing the cat.
So in 1962, at the time Prabhupada wrote this in India,
yeah.
It was, I mean, in India also they didn't have pet dogs like now they have in Bombay.
Exactly.
And Prabhupada couldn't figure, I mean, even maybe couldn't imagine that you kiss your dog like he saw, you know, the dog licking up the face of his.
Exactly.
I couldn't believe it, you know.
I mean, this is even he himself cannot relate to it. In the span of 60 years, how things have degraded so badly. There is a portion of in Holland, it's a very degraded country, not all Holland, but you can marry your dog.
Oh.
I'm telling you, people.
Really? Oh.
You can marry your dog. You can marry your daughter.
No.
I'm telling you.
No.
Yeah, in Holland, not all. Around Amsterdam. This is you have no idea how things. I mean, we are aloof, we are in our own bubble, but how things are. It's devolution. It's not evolution. It's human devolution. And Prabhupada obviously is coming out of the blue. You know, it's, oh, we have no exchange between animals. And it's like we are 60 years down the road. It's happening.
It was already happening in the West, but Prabhupada was in India, and for him it was like
he hasn't touched the soul of America as yet. So it's very interesting, you know, you can kind of access the mood of Prabhupada, the rasa of Prabhupada. You know, it's interesting to try to understand the Acharya, you know, where is he at? Of course, it's impossible to understand, but to some extent, you know, what is his state of affair? He's about to go to America. What is his intention? It transpires in the purpose. Prabhupada used to say, these are my spiritual ecstasies. He used to say, they are more important than the verse. Can you imagine, Hari Krishna? He said that. They are more important than the verse. So he used to say elsewhere, I didn't write those books. Krishna is dictating to me in the morning. I mean, where are we? Okay, we'll stop here. It's 33. Don't worry, we'll finish up next time. This is the greatness of having a small group. We can, you know, exchange a lot. But I hope still more devotees will come. Perhaps from Mauritius, let's see, or perhaps from Vancouver even. Hari Krishna is a very good recruiting agent. Well, you had a good attempt with Srila Tha, but she didn't stick it out. But you know, at least it was a good try. You know, I'm trying on my own also to recruit, but you know, we cannot push.
My brother-in-law. No,
we cannot push people into it. It has to come from their own accord. You know.
Yeah, my brother-in-law called yesterday, and he couldn't join today because in Mauritius they're celebrating Govardhan Puja today.
After Kartik, we can consider perhaps some of them. You know? Okay, so let's prepare for next class, Sunday, and let's look at now we're going to be flowing a little faster because, you know, those three first verses are so lofty. Obviously, we cannot do injustice to them. Okay, so let me find the book here. I will tell you. So 4, 2. Did you notice? You may look at your manual for that. Even each chapter has got subsections. I don't know if you noticed in your manual.
Mhm.
Sometimes I may follow them. Sometimes I may have my own discretion also. Okay, so let's see. We have 2 hours, so we should be able to move on a bit quicker now. Yeah. So I would say 14. Yeah. 14. So you read purpose and verses, of course. And you try to, the context is going to start now. We are in the forest of Naimisharanya. The whole thing is going to unfold from here. Is Shukadev present in the first canto, Harinishta? This is a tricky question. Be careful, Sundar Prabhu. Is Shukadev speaking in the first canto? There's not a word of Shukadev in the first canto. Shukadev starts from second canto.
Wow, I didn't know that.
There's a beginning to everything. That is why some people say, well, first canto is not really Bhagavatam, it's a big offense. On that play, because Shukadev starts speaking in the second. But we should not diminish. Remember, Sutta Goswami was seated very far back when Shukadev starts speaking. And Shukadev told him, you please get very close.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do we find this this kind of
yeah, it must be some acharya. I can look it up.
Really, yeah?
He told him you get very close because he knew this person is the son of Ramaharshan Sutta. Later he's going to rote memory, by heart. He memorized the whole thing. Later he gave it again, he imparted it again to the sages of Naimisharanya. So they're not, we cannot say they're lesser, on the lesser level. No, same level. But Shukadev remains the guru, the speaker of the Bhagavatam. Okay, so I would say 14, and I'll send you some homework. Hare Krishna.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. See you on Sunday, 5:30.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'll send you the recording.